Well, here we go. Let's get the party started. Let's get it rolling, rolling, rolling. Set it on fire, baby.
Ever since my eyes met the world, I was breaking through the chains like a match to a flame. I was born against the grain. Oh, oh. They say I'm broken in the brain, got a shot of kerosene in my veins. Hey, hey, hey. They better be concerned now, cause it's my turn, and I'm only getting hotter. Take a step back or you might get burned, cause I'm a fire starter. From the trenches and the fumes, got defiance in my bones to the soles of my shoes. And oh, I got a thirst for breaking the rules. You can try me, but I got a short fuse. Hey, hey, hey. They better be concerned now, cause it's my turn, and I'm only getting hotter. Take a step back or you might get burned, cause I'm a fire starter. Ever since my eyes met the world, born against the grain. Take a step back or you might get burned, cause I'm a fire starter. I'm a fire starter. Look out for my flames, baby, cause I'm dangerous. I am a fire starter.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. We're in the house. What's up, my peoples? El Fuego from the Pacific Northwest in the house. Rick Ross. What's up, Rick Ross, man? In the house. Brandon. Jocelyn. Brandon is in the house. What's up, my friends? I've been out here doing stuff today, y'all. I got we all have that bone that you get when you're just like, man, I just need to go do something. I got at the itch, to go. And you got a project or two that's on the burners, and you just kind of been letting them simmer, and you finally get the itch to go mess with it. That's what happened today. That video is currently being edited and processed. I'm working on it right now. Bobby B's in the house. What's up, Bobby? So yeah, we've been going over stuff today. What I'm doing, in case you didn't know, is I'm working on that cat bank that I had procured a little bit back. I did some testing with it, a little video on it. It's a little bit clip here and there, just kind of popping up in different videos. Well, I'm working on it right now, so I ain't sure exactly what it's going to be doing, but it's going to be doing something somewhere, and I'm building it into a little bank. That's what that video is going to be about. You'll see it pop up sometime tonight or in the morning, one of the two. I ain't sure yet. But to start out with, I want to answer a couple of questions in the comments on my videos. And I've already answered them in the video, but a couple of these are interesting, so I want to cover them in this live show. To get some stuff, let you guys build up some questions, and we'll start going through the comments here in a second. The first question is on a video that I put up called Real World Testing of Trunk Thunder Lithium. And we were doing some slamming on that thing, and the voltage never drops. Man, Trunk Thunder Lithium is awesome. But a guy asked me, do you have to charge the 5K when you get it? It said there's no way to contact the company. And actually, there is. You can contact via the message box that pops up on the website. You can also look up Brandon Metal Leg Burns on Facebook, and you can get a hold of him that way. And that's one way to get a hold of him. But the messenger on the website, he answers that. Honestly, he'll probably notice that before he'll notice the message on Facebook. So just a heads up. But to answer that question, you don't have to charge it. I recommend doing it if possible before you play it. You can go ahead and install it, and then you can hook up just a regular battery charger just to make sure that the cells are top, because they're going to top off about the same as an AGM. So you can use a standard issue AGM charger on them, because they're going to rest at 13.1, and the AGM charger is going to pull it up past that anyway, so it'll work. Putting the top off on them before you actually put the hammer to it is a good idea, because having your alternator have to charge those batteries is going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to shock the batteries. You're actually going to take a whole ton of current all at one time, and the alternator is going to get put under stress. You don't really want to do either one of those things, so it's a good idea to charge that bank up before you actually start the vehicle. That's kind of what I told him in there. And there was one more question that I wanted to bring up. We're talking about, a lot of guys are talking about the 2.8s that did the 150 plus in a car at 17 hertz or whatever it was. That's been a big discussion going on. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people asking about recommendations on batteries and power. And discussions go on for a long time. Guys, I literally think I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of comments on videos. I mean, if you want to ask a question, man, odds are the answer is in one of these comment lists. So there's a lot of stuff in here. But let's see what you guys, I've seen a few comments popping up. I want to see what you guys are asking about. Bobby B said, yo, all right. Simmons, what's up, man? Glad you're here. Nice to have you. Should I get a Pride Audio subwoofer M35.18 with a solo? With a solo. I'm confused on that. I know what the subwoofer is. M35. I'm guessing that's a 3.5 inch coil on an 18-inch sub. I'm guessing that's what that nomenclature is. If I had to just take a ballpark guess, I'm gonna tell you, man. The Pride Audio, the big stuff, their high-end stuff. That shit ain't no joke, dude. It's no joke. I've seen it do stupid things. But what I don't know is the solo thing. I don't understand what the question is. Good sub. Let's put it. You just put it in the right enclosure. But I don't know what the solo is. Bobby B said, "Star of Car Audio." Bobby B, the star of Car Audio DIY installation. Hell yeah. Fuego says, the Truck Thunder Lithium remake, the Banger 5K like they did 10K. Not yet. That may be coming though. I don't know. I know that's a in-phase thing. So the 10K or the 5K V2 has, I think it has the same cells as the 10K version 3. So there isn't anything in the plans. The reason that the 10K version 3 came out, the only difference between the version 2 and the version 3 on the 10K is the casing and the bus bars, the equipment. The cells should be the same. So if you've got a 10K version 2, it'll be exactly the same cells. But what changed is the real thick HDPE casing that goes on there to protect everything. And there's nothing else on the market that even gets remotely close to that casing. Nothing else on the market. There's also nobody else out there producing cells with those thick, solid copper bus bars. This thing is a beast and a tank of a battery. Uh, and Brandon put in the money to make that happen. He wanted to build the best that you could get out there, and that's what he did. Um, so it's a real solid setup. The 10K version 2 was the same setup with standard issue bus bars and a thinner case. It was an acrylic case. I think he may have had trouble with some people receiving that case. This is a hypothetical. I do not know if this happened, but my guess, purely a guess, is that at some point someone got one of those in their acrylic case and it was broken or something like that. Or maybe he thought that it might get broken, and so he stopped doing the acrylic cases. I'm not really sure what happened with that, but he shut that down. There's always a chance he'll pop up in chat, so not likely because I hadn't talked to him today, but there's always a chance. But yeah, the 5K right now, the current 5K is the same cells as the 10K version 3. So it's just half of them. It's half the cells. And in case you guys are wondering, the Big Jeff batteries use the cells and the same cells, but they were the line that came before the current stuff that's available with shrunk donor lithium. So, like from my battery, the 10K version 1 and the 5K version 1 and the Big Jeff battery all use the same cells. The difference is in the version 1 and the 10K and the version 1 of the 5K, the 5K has twice as many cells in it as Big Jeff's battery. And it was like 500 and something, $500. The Big Jeff battery is 300 plus, which is actually less than twice the price, but it has twice as much power. Nothing wrong with the Big Jeff battery. It's a good battery, but just to understand that it's half of a 5K, a big trunk donor lithium 5K. It's half of that. If you can get it for a sweet deal, you could. I mean, it's perfectly fine, perfectly fine setup. Really nice looking battery, and it does the job. But you're going to need twice as many of them as you would the 5K. Now, the cells he's building now, the banks he's building now, are the newest revision of those cells, and they're a stronger cell. So the 10K now version 3 or version 2, if you got some of those, because there wasn't a whole lot of those that came out. But the 10K version 3 and 2 and the 10K version 1, differences between them is substantially more support, more potential power, less internal resistance, all kinds of little upgrades going from the revision of those cells they're using to make those banks. So it's a good upgrade, and it's a solid piece of kit to put in the system right now. What's up, Jason? Nice to see you, my friend. Yeah, no doubt, dude. All right, so Fuego said, am I the only one concerned about prices and availability considering some of the tariff talks? Dude, tariffs, man. Tariffs is a whole world of shit right now in the car audio community. So what Brandon did was he basically absorbed the tariffs. Okay, Slapz, my boy over there, had to raise the prices. You guys saw that the subwoofer prices went up a little bit. And it's because he got absolutely slapped with some serious taxes at the dock. And his cost went up significantly, so he had to raise the price just to accommodate that. And it's hurting a lot of people. I mean, I'm going to tell you, it really is. And I'll even talk about it a little bit. A lot of people have a misconception about tariffs, and I'm going to explain what tariffs are about for anybody listening. But Brandon has basically absorbed it. So he raised the price a little bit over what the version 2 and version 1 was, but not enough to account for how much more he had to pay to get everything imported. So he's basically eating that cost, or eating a lot of it. And but I do know that he's got a lot of cells and a lot of stuff in stock now, so he's going to be building for a while. And here's the thing. So let's cover this, because I want to cover this for you guys that don't know about how tariffs work. A lot of people are under the impression that, for example, China is having to pay these tariffs. That's not how that works. Not at all. What happens is our government is applying a tariff at the dock to receive products from other countries. We'll just say China for now, because that's the primary one. And depending on the cost of the stuff that you buy from China, so if you buy $1,000 worth of stuff from China, then and the tariff is 100% tariff, then you pay $2,000 at the dock to get your $1,000 worth of stuff from China. If you're someone who is reselling, who is buying components and assembling them in the United States, and then reselling that person, sundown, boss, kicker, anybody that's bringing in products from overseas, they're the ones that have to pay those tariffs. And then in a lot of cases, they pass that cost on to the consumer. Ultimately, the consumer pays those tariffs. You pay the tariff. Now, why does why does that hurt China? Okay, as an example. Well, if you can get a product from China that costs $1,000 to get this set amount of stuff, right, and then you get 100% tariff put on there, it now costs you $2,000 to get that same thing from China. Well, let's say there's another country, or even in the United States, where you can buy that product and ultimately pay $1,500 for it instead of $1,000, but you're not paying that other, you're actually paying less considering the tariff. Then you move to buying that product from the other place. And when that happens, China loses that sale. So it hurts the private businesses in China, not the government, mind you. It hurts the businesses, because the guys that are over there that have the factories that are producing this stuff, that sell it to the United States, they're losing business. Not the Chinese government. They're not getting hurt at all. In fact, the Chinese government is charging tariffs on stuff that we're exporting to China. So whenever their private business people go to buy the stuff coming from the United States, they have to pay a tax on top of the cost that we charge them from the U.S. So this whole tariff thing, literally, and the Chinese government gets paid that money. And our government gets paid what our consumers are paying. So when you go and buy that stuff, you're paying the manufacturer here, the reseller here, they're paying the extra tariff, and that tariff that they're paying goes to Uncle Sam. So tariff war gives the government a huge amount of money coming from the people. That's how that works. It's when we put a tariff on China, it doesn't hurt China. It hurts the businessmen in China because they lose business, and it hurts the consumer in the United States because they're paying more for product. Now, what the end result is the result that you're wanting to achieve is to make it cheaper or make it more economically possible or feasible for other countries, including the U.S., to be able to provide a product that's more expensive than what you would get from China, but with the tariffs, it costs less. So that moves some business into the United States. Well, this only works, though, if there's businesses in the United States producing that stuff, and if the cost that they can produce it at and sell it at and make a profit at is still lower than the tariffed Chinese version. It's the only way it works. That's what we're hoping for. But the funny thing is, you may have heard talk about how the federal income tax did not used to exist. Okay, it used to just be tariffs, and I can totally see that because you're not when they took away tariffs, they just added an income tax. So you're getting taxed regardless. You're going to either get taxed on the money that you make, or you're going to get taxed on the money that you spend from overseas, right? Anything that you buy that comes from outside of the country is going to cost you extra money, and that money goes to the government. That's what tariffs are all about. So right now, right now, we're still paying income taxes, and we're paying this big fat ass tariff every time we buy anything that comes from overseas. And guess what, guys? 90% of the shit that you buy comes from overseas. Even if it was made here, parts of it came from overseas. It's just the way it works. I am a huge Trump fan, and I believe that ultimately this is going to help our country. But right now, it's burning bad, like a really bad freaking infection. Okay. Let's jump in here and see what's going on in the chat. I've been on my rant for a while. So Brandon said, I'm upgrading my alternator to a 320 amp high output alternator, but I would like to go with a dual alternator setup. I can't find anyone who has the bracket for the diesel engine I have. Go to the local CNC shop and see if they can make one from aluminum. What are your thoughts? Check GP Car Audio. That's the first thing I would tell you to do. I could pull it up and we could start digging, but it's easiest for you just to go over to GP Car Audio and look and just look for alternator brackets for your shit there. If you can't find it there are kits that you can buy where you can build your own system. But that's going to require a whole lot of legwork. Getting something CNC'd. If you've got the actual thing designed already, then that's possible. But I would check with GP first because they have the best dual and triple and quadruple alternator brackets on the market, bar none. Nobody else's stuff is going to be better than theirs. And the prices are really reasonable. That's the thing about GP. Not everything is amazing prices, but on the stuff that they make, alternator brackets, subwoofer enclosures, all that kind of stuff, the prices are extremely competitive and the product is going to be very, very good. So check with them first. Otherwise, you may have to go that route. That's my thoughts. Let's see here. El Fuego says, the Big Jeff in my studio looks like he dead short of one of the batteries with his tongue. Well, he's hanging on to the kicker though. See, he's chilling out over there. He had a whiskey bottle over there earlier. I had to remove that because, he kept falling off the damn thing. And you guys can't see it, but I got him clamped to the wall up there. I got a little, as he kept wanting to fall off, I'd just be sitting there and I'd look over and he'd be leaning real hard to one side. Like, dude, what the hell? He is sitting on a subwoofer, so there's that. And that thing does get down up in here. Guys, I wish you guys could come over and listen to my setup in here. It'd blow your freaking mind how good it sounds. And I'm running 100% high Anka speakers in this thing. I'm going to tell you, though, don't hate on high Anka speakers, man. I want to. I've got some of the cheapest ones they have, and they sound great. And I've got these Marine ones, and they're like $60 or something a pair. And they are as good as any Marine 6.5s I've ever heard. And I've heard some very nice ones. Don't sleep on them, man. If you're looking for some shit, you just want it to work, That shit works, man. You get the high end Hyanka sub, it's rated at like 1250 watts or something. Uh, it's a reasonable subwoofer. I wouldn't be afraid to do a build with them. It's not going to handle as much as the Oblivion. Uh, it's not going to produce as much as the Oblivion. It's not going to handle as much power as the Oblivion. But I wouldn't be afraid to do a build with them, as long as you keep all that in mind. Uh, man, I go, El Fuego, you're awesome. Jason said, Jason's telling Brandon if you can create a blueprint and buy the raw stock. Someone did all the blueprint. Yeah, that's the thing. Getting the blueprint to build that's going to be tricky. What you might do is look for brackets that are for engines very similar to yours. Try to find as much something as close to your engine as possible, and then look for the differences between them. It could just be something as simple as a hole that's moved over a half an inch, or something that needs a hole in it that doesn't have one, or some shit like that. So that would be my suggestion. If you can't find it at GP, is just try to find a close match, and then if you find one that's similar enough, you can make it work. You're better off to use steel plate and weld it together at a fab shop. Yeah. Let's see here. You know what? I'm not sure, but it damn sure could. Yeah, the cost of tariffs are rough, man. They're rough, and that's that misconception is China really isn't. China as a country, the Chinese government, which is who you want to target, doesn't feel that. It's the Chinese people and the Chinese business owners and manufacturers. They're feeling it to an extent, but it's secondhand. The primary people that get hit is the consumer here. The people here. We're the ones paying those tariffs, literally. The small business people here are paying the tariffs, and there's some of them either or not passing on that cost to the consumer, and the consumer's paying it. So we're paying the tariffs. It isn't China that's paying them. That's a huge freaking misconception I think a lot of people have. Let's see here, Brandon. What's up, Brandon? I've looked for hours and hours, can't seem to find one. Hopefully that GP link will lead you somewhere. Like I said, though, look for something that's similar, like an engine that's similar to yours or close, or just another diesel engine of that line. A lot of times the similarities will be there. There'll be some minor differences that you can overcome, and you can just get that one and modify it to work. Red Pill said politicians sold this country out decades ago. Yeah, no doubt, dude. It's always about money. It's always about money, unfortunately. I don't know. Someone sold, let's see here. I didn't know someone sold a universal dual alternator kit. Yeah, you can get them. Mm-hmm. What you basically do is you can get bits and pieces to do it. You use turnbuckles. You use like a threaded rod. Get brackets to fit on your alternator, and then you use like a threaded rod as an expansion to pull it tight. And you may have to use another piece to. But yeah, there are kits out there to help build that, but that's essentially what it is just welding nuts on the pieces of metal and to brace everything, all that sort of stuff. It's a doable thing. You can convert your AC compressor to a alternator bracket. There's all sorts of odd things. I am specific about when I buy a vehicle. I'm a hardcore base head and a base head that's experienced. So whenever I'm looking to buy a vehicle, first I research the vehicle to find out if it has any problems like constant problems. And then I look for those problems whenever I'm buying. But the other thing is, I look for the aftermarket support for that vehicle before I ever buy it. I look for the alternator brackets. I look for where the battery's at. I look where the alternators are located at, because good God, some of them are such a huge pain in the ass to change. I look at how the frame is grounded to everything, how everything is put together, all that kind of shit. How much your windshields cost, all that stuff. I mean, I dig in deep, and I know what I'm looking for, and I pop the hood and I find all that equipment. I want to know where everything is, because I'm going to be getting into that. And that's just, if I pull up and open the hood and the vehicle's got the alternator on the bottom of the engine, I'm going to shut the hood and walk away from it. I'm not even going to buy that shit. I ain't got time for that. I just ain't got time for it. So this is something that I've learned over time, not something that I was taught. You just got to be real with yourself, man. I mean, you might say, well, man, my car's got to get back and forth to work, and I got to get what I can afford and all that. But yeah, true. But be real with yourself. If you can pay the same price for something that's got things where you need it to do the other shit you're going to do, just do that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. RE. I'm not familiar with RE, Daryl. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. Kenneth Wayne Waldmer. Have a chance for a Slapz Shock 5K for $250. Good deal. I believe. Let me pull it up. I have the website over here open. Well, it sells for $329. The Shock, never mind. $289. Hell no, man. Buy it new. $289. Use my discount code. That knocks another $30 off of it. Shit, dude. That's a shit buy. I mean, you could, if you want to offer him 150, that'd be reasonable. And if he won't take it, just buy one new, dude. Use my discount code over there, and that's going to knock another 10% off of it. So the 5K is $289. That'd be $30. That'd be $250. Yeah, buy a brand new one, and use my discount code CAE. You could offer him 100 and a half, or tell him to go shit in this pants or something, because that's a stupid ass freaking deal. You're welcome. Yeah, I just offer him 150. Don't go above that. Red Pill says, I'm holding on to my 5.3. Yeah. For the rest of my life, I'll steal parts from CAE if I need them. I like my 5.3, man. I swear, dude, that motor just goes and goes and goes. Let's see here. Daryl said, reach out to Blue Ghost for options on the alternator bracket. That's cool. Appreciate the help there. Jason said, I learned something new with the Ford V8s. You have to pay attention to how much belt wrap you have. I'm limited to about 250 or 270 amps. Any higher in the belt would slip under load. So, yeah, fair. There's probably not a good belt wrap. The GP alternator brackets all give you, the way they're designed, they increase the belt wrap significantly when you put them on. That's a plus. I mean, it takes it from being an angle to being a go out and come back kind of a situation. And they're a whole lot tighter wrap, and you don't have any slippage. One thing I can recommend, though, is using Gator belts. Look up Gator belts for whenever you're buying shit. If you're having slipping issues, they don't slip. The other thing is, I tend to prefer, I know I have a 370 high output alternator on there right now. I wish I had bought the 240 instead. I think it was a 240 or so. The reason is the 240 makes its power at idle. A 370 makes its 370 at 2,000 RPMs. It doesn't make 240 at idle. And that's a big deal. So, because a whole lot of the time that I'm running, I'm idling. I'm idling. I'm out there demoing, and I'm not sitting there holding my RPMs up to 2,000. If you buy an alternator that gives you the power you're looking for at idle, you're always going to be happier doing that. And I wished I had made that choice when I got it. That said, my Team GP370 has been a great alternator. I can't bitch about it at all. Um, but yeah, you're doing fine. Usually when you get those 250 to 270, 240 to 270, they're at idle, and that's going to be better for you anyway. But you're also, the funny thing is you're also going to be pulling harder on that alternator at idle than you would on a high output like a 370 or a 400 amp alternator at idle. So there is that. You might try changing pulley sizes too. I need to take a little break real quick. My wife's got me on water pills as my legs were swollen. So give me a second and I'll be right back. Y'all think about, you stand there in the corner and you think about what you did, man. I'm going to take a little break and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Oh man, dizzy spell now. Whew. Guys, my heart doesn't work like it's supposed to. So when I get up, all the blood that was in my head gets sloshed up and down like a bucket when you move it, it goes down into my body. And my brain, after I'm standing there for a few seconds, my brain says, hey, we need blood. And my body's like, screw that. You don't get any blood. The brain says like, okay, fuck it. I'm shutting down. Starts shutting down. And then goes, oh, wait a minute. There's some blood coming back. And it comes back. So, so while this is happening, I'm standing there trying to pee. You know what I'm saying? And in case you hadn't even thought about it, when you're peeing, the water's going out of your body, so you're letting more fluid out, which means the whole pressure drops. That's why when you piss, it kind of screws with your head a little bit because you're dropping your blood pressure. You're dropping all that pressure. God, heart disease sucks, man. Holy crap. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Oh, man. So let's see. Jazz Fo. Hey there, I am new to car audio. I'm glad you showed up for the show tonight. Welcome to the show. And I really want to do builds like I do. Boy, let me tell you. What source of information would you recommend? I don't even know where to start from. Man, that's deep. Well, see, when a guy and a subwoofer really want to get together, we're talking about, the subs and the tweets, man. We're going deep. That's a very deep thing. I can tell you, man, the sources are just insane. This is a very deep subject. Okay, as far as my personal repository of information. If you look on my channel, and go to car audio information, that's what I named that. Let me go back and look real quick. Content, playlist. Yeah. For the car audio information deep dive podcast, there are 360 videos in that podcast. That's going to just listen to that shit. This is a good start, man. Go through there because the subject is extremely deep, and we could spend hours and hours getting you up to a level to where you're good to go. So that's my first start of. That's going to give you a lot of real basic information and some more advanced information. There's a lot of guys out there that I could point you at that are going to be able to give you good advanced information. But as far as basic stuff, the only other one that really does that would be Car Audio Fabrication. Mark at Car Audio Fabrication, CAF. He has some really good basic how-to videos and some really good advanced stuff as well. Far better than my stuff. But Mark is a bit of out there on the edge of skill level. His skill level is very high. So that would be one thing I'd recommend. Yes, I'll recommend other YouTubers because a lot of these places is, I learned from me. There's a whole lot of people out there that can teach you a whole lot of things, but you need the basics first. That's why I pointed you at my playlist, the Car Audio Information Deep Dive podcast. There's going to be a ton of stuff in there. That podcast gets a ton of hits. So that would be my recommendation to start with. Another thing I would recommend is using websites with good tools to help you not make any easy mistakes in the very beginning. What's the name of the site that I was on yesterday, guys? Friday? Crutchfield.com. So you know what? Let's do that. Let's go over to Crutchfield. Hang on just a second here. Let me get it pulled up. And I'm going to show you something that'll help you early on with some pretty basic stuff. Okay. So let's go over here because you know what? We've all been there. And sometimes the best thing you can do is give people good information, good fishing pole, So this site here is going to be your friend, especially if you are new to this hobby. So you go to this site and then let's go and click on Car Audio. So let's see here. Where's that thing I'm looking for? So it's popped up over here because I have put it on Tacoma from one of the other persons that asked for things. So let's click on this first, but I'm going to change this car to a different car. So I want to change vehicle. So what you do is, let's say you've got a 2020 Buick Encore. Okay. And then it's going to ask you stuff like this. It wants to find out which package you have. So it wants to know if you have this little symbol here or if you do not. Let's say that we do not have that symbol. So then it's going to show you a picture of your vehicle right here. And you chose without the Bose system. And it does have a factory stereo installed. Then you can go down here and select different speakers for your car. So if you're wanting to replace the ones in the A-pillars, for example, front pillars, you click on that link and it's going to pull up this whole list of options to put speakers there. Now, some of them will say, let me see, let me find one that has, okay, like this one, okay? This Memphis Audio PRX10, down here, it says modified. This is important. Modified fit and front filler. Modified fit. It shows up this thing, and it'll show up the installation gear that you need. So when you click on that, it'll bring up this install bay speaker installation kit and also research notes for free. It costs you $5 for this kit, but the notes are free. All right. Now you can select those to add those to cart with the speakers, and then you've got the stuff you need. Now, in this instruction manual, it'll tell you everything about taking the A-pillars out, putting the speakers in, all the stuff, easy to follow instructions that'll get you done with that job. And this goes for anything in here. So if you go back to like the door speakers, front doors, pull those up, click on them, it pulls up the stuff. This right here says that these kickers fit in front doors. It's green. That means you don't have to do much to it. It also says it also fits in the rear door. All right. And you're ready to go, man. It's like, and you can even do compare and listen too. That's another thing. Can't really do that on this, in this format with us on here, but we can. See now that right here, it says the woofer fits, but the tweeter is going to require modification. See the gear you need. It's a really, really good site to go to find the stuff that you need to do a basic installation, including the head unit, including everything, amplifiers, all the stuff in here. This site is an absolute great place for people to go, especially if you don't already have experience. So this is a good starting point to get a basic system or even a mediocre system put in. It's not going to solve all your problems. It's not going to help you with learning how to tune and all the things that you're going to have to do and sorting out why this thing doesn't work or that thing doesn't work. But if you're completely green, that's a great tool. Let's see what else we got going on here. Addison Harm says, so I have a 2004 Ford F-150. That's the Triton. That's a Triton truck. With a 370 amp alt, I'm running 2 def bounce subs and a 12-inch subs, 12-inch, and a 1500 watt RMS each. Okay, so that's their. Okay, that's the two. That's like the 275s, I think. Okay. I forgot to set it at 2K. What? I forgot to set it at 2K RPM. Okay. But I had the big 3 stock battery, 2 1 alt gauge for power and ground. Should I get an aftermarket battery for it? I'm dropping to 11.9. Well, yeah, I bet you are. No. Yeah, probably, but I'm just reading the rest of this. Would be enough to top it off or thought about it. I have audio control 800 watt for my highs and a Teramps 3K. So you're running a 3K. That's the important piece of information there. A 3K and an 800 watt. So you have a stock battery. Okay. Yeah, and you got the F-150 with a 370 amp alt. The 5K version 2 would be plenty for that setup. And you should have room back there in the back of your cab where your amps and everything are at to put that back there. It's a pretty small battery. And with that alternator, that 5K will carry 10,000 watts easy. So let me pull that up and we'll go for another ride here. let's see here. Am I gonna? Okay, cool. It just worked. I like it when it works. So you want to head over to Trunked Under Lithium, click on the Little Banger series, and then click on this guy right here, the 5K version 2. Um, this battery right here will support your amplifier. It would actually probably support 3 of them. Just to give you an idea how much power this little battery is capable of doing. It would actually probably support 3 of them. And they are in stock. So right now there's 49 in stock, which means you're good to go. And you use my discount code CAE10 and save 10% off of this already reasonable price right here. So order this guy and your problems will be solved. This thing is a beast. And like I said, with your input, with your alternator, everything else sounds good. You just need a good battery, and this is a better buy than what you were looking at. They're going to get way more power out of this. This is unbelievable. With that battery and your alternator, you could, like I said, you could easily support 3 of those 3Ks, maybe more, but I would say at least 3 without any problems. And this thing is like the size of a lawn and garden tractor battery. It's fairly small. So that's my suggestion. It sounds like you got a pretty good setup except for your power storage. So that's good. That's good stuff. Yeah. And I agree with you, brother. I agree. It's very vague. That's why I'm pointing you to some specific things and trying to help you out. 5-star. It's a good choice, but with Dean and Fernando, maybe a little bit advanced. But yeah, I mean, they got some great information. It's good. It's a good place to go if you're looking for. If you're wanting to stay in the stock setups, the SQ sound quality kind of stock setups. They're going to give you a lot of good information, teach you how to hook stuff up, how to install. The main thing you can take away from those guys is how to install weird radios, how to get odd things hooked up on radios, how to get your screen working, how to get, the GPS working, how to get all that kind of stuff. Dean and Fernando, Dean's a brilliant car audio installer. So yeah, excellent source. Sure. That's 100%. The blood goes. If the blood goes to the midsection, go with my brother. Yeah, it don't. The blood goes to my legs. I have to wear compression socks. Um, yep. When you get there and it comes to tuning Rawcat, but Rawcat's a good choice too. Yeah, absolutely. Um, but if you go jumping into Rawcat shit right now, you're just going to be so overwhelmed with stuff that you don't even know where to start at that it's not going to help you any. I mean, you're going to have in order to learn something, you need to have a basis to build on. Because you're starting out at the bottom, and Rawcat's going to be way up here at his very beginning, and you have to know what the hell he's talking about even to learn more. But yeah, excellent choice for learning how to tune stuff. Sure. What's up, Ken? Nice to see you, my friend. JSO, start small, maybe add an amp and a sub to what you have. Basic safety of running wires and vehicles. Yeah. If you don't have any accidents, it's a lot to learn. Maybe have a shop run the wires. Yeah, you can. I got to say, there was times in my career where I had a shop run my power wires just because I did not want to have to deal with it. I mean, I just didn't want to have to deal with that. That was a thing. So I stopped running wires through the firewall years ago, though, and that changed everything. That was the best freaking upgrade I ever made, was stopping trying to run power wires through the firewall. I just go under the guard. Problem solved. Um, let's see here. I think he is just going through them. Okay. Triton, yeah. Yeah, Triton, man. So he said, yeah, it's a Triton. Yeah, I know. I had your model. You want some advice on that Triton? I'll give you some. Uh, go go get those plug inserts put in. Spark plug inserts. It's a helicoil type of deal. They drill out and rethread your spark plug holes, and they put this insert in there that's got more threads in there. That gets thread locked in with blue thread locker, and get that done. If it hadn't already been done, get it done. You can pay to have it done. It should cost you about $500 to have somebody do it for you. It'll cost you about 150 or 200 to do it yourself, but you really don't want to do it yourself. The other thing is, there's a timing chain guide. It's a little yellow piece of plastic, and the timing chain runs on. Have that inspected or replaced. You get those two things done, and that engine will run forever. But if you skip either one of those two things is going to be your new problem. All of a sudden, spark plugs will shoot out of the motor. That plastic piece will break down. It'll wind up getting pulled up into breaking and jamming stuff up. It's a horrible mess. Those are the two weaknesses on the Triton motor. If you get those two things took care of, be a great engine. You haven't done it, need to do it. 272. I was close. I said 275. I knew it was one of those. Yeah, good subs, man. They'll do you well. They'll serve you really well. Addison will have belt slip issues. LTO 5K. LTO 5K. Let me see. Make sure I'm on the same thing. Oh, the battery I recommended is not an LTO 5K. It's a LiPo 4 5K, but it'll actually handle a whole lot more power. And that trunk donor lithium battery is rated down to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So, it's a solid setup, dude. Even if you don't buy from Crutchfield, very good point. And I've used Crutchfield to figure out what fits. Even if you don't buy from Crutchfield, you can see what fits in your ride and buy it elsewhere. And it's like I said, that Crutchfield resource is huge. A lot of people that I know that have been installing for 20 plus years still use Crutchfield constantly because they're handy to find out stuff that you don't know. And also, you can order the shit to do the job. It's so easy. You're usually going to pay a tad bit more for the product there, but you just order it and you can get all the stuff, all of it coming in one box. All the crap you're going to need to do the whole install just comes in the box. And you're not like, man, I need that one piece. It's there with the instructions. It's a really cool website. Can't go wrong with Crutchfield. Hey, no problem, man. Let's see here. Jazz said, thank you guys for everything, even the walkthrough. I'll start here with playlist. You'll learn. You'll learn quick enough, man. Time will be your friend, but just take your time and take the time to learn and then research everything. If you don't know, try to research it. If you can't find anything on it, just be real careful. Learn enough to be careful and just poke it until you get it to do this thing. Just take your time. Um, yeah, Bobby said Dina Fernando for OE integration, 100%. Those guys will make it look like it came from the factory that way. Bobby, did I look at the Down for Sound software I sent you? I did. I went to download that. I did. I tried to download it. And I'm pretty sure I got the crabs whenever I started trying to download it. I'm pretty sure I got syphilis and gonorrhea and the crabs just from trying to download that shit. He's talking about the software for this Down for Sound DSP. Is one of them situations where you got like 15 download links. None of them are to the software that you're trying to download. It's like all this crap that pretends like it's to that software. And you got to fight your way through these pages to get to the damn thing. And I'm like, you know what? Nah, I've already got at least 3 STDs. I'm getting the hell out of here. And I left the room. And I never went back. So good luck with that shit. I don't have enough condoms to go there and download from their shit, man. I don't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the experience. I'm sure it's great software. I'm sure it's a great DSP. But if I can't get to it without catching a dozen different STDs, I don't want nothing to do with it. And that was kind of what I felt like. I felt like I was being violated. Oh, wow, I'm live, apparently. I love it when I get an email saying, hey, you're live right now. Like, you think? So I don't know, Bobby. I don't know. I have. Sorry, man. Let's see. Oh, dude. Look, man, Down for Sound has done a lot of cool stuff, you know. They've they've really brought the A game with a lot of good products. And a lot of these companies are being able to survive the tariff war because they bought so much product ahead of time. They saw it coming and they had enough disposable income to buy 10,000 of a thing that they would normally only buy maybe 1,000 of, just so that by the time they burn through all that product, maybe the tariffs will be squirted out. So they had the raw capital. Some of these small guys didn't have that much raw capital, so they have to buy it little at a time, and so they feel each one of those fluctuations. I don't know. I'm hoping it comes to an end and gets better, but Red Pill said I like to go in raw. You guys are fun, man. Y'all are absolutely a blast. Thank you, Matt. Thank you too. I ain't bailing just yet, though. I'm hanging out. Uh, I don't have anything really on the schedule over here. I was looking for something to inspire me, but I don't really have anything on the schedule to talk about. So it's whatever you guys bring up. That's what we're going to talk about. I have a whole one of my biggest videos is how to fix a driver's window not rolling up on a 2007 to 2014 Chevy. Funny thing about that video is that solution is that it works for a whole lot of vehicles. A whole lot of vehicles. Like, I've had people say, oh, it worked on my this, it worked on my that, it worked on this thing and that thing. And like, apparently it's a common issue. And all we're basically doing is power cycling the thing. That's what it boils down to. Discount code is CAE10. That 5K is a stout battery, man. It's very small too. It's pretty similar to the 10K version 1. Not quite as stout, but surprisingly good. I really like my version 1. I'm getting the version 2 probably in the middle of and the end of next week. I got to wait and see how things are going. I'm letting Brandon catch up with all the orders that he's getting for the 10K version 3. I told him to wait until he's got most of those orders filled or all of them, before you worry about me. He just sent me a copy. Oh, he's okay. All right, I'll look into it. That freaking thing, dude. You guys are a mess. I'm reading chat, by the way. Bobby said I just sent you a copy. That app. I don't know if I can handle the AIDS, man. Let's see. I've been installing car audio since 1990. What's up, Mike? By the way, nice to see you. All the custom builds. You got to learn patience so you don't screw up, and always double check your work. I'm gonna tell you, man. My philosophy on working with that stuff is what you do is you develop habits, and habits that like I have a habit of every time I look at wires, I grab the wires and I wiggle them. I try to wiggle them. It's just a habit. I'm always checking them. Whenever I'm looking at someone else's build, I have to put my hands in my pockets because I'm wanting to reach out there and wiggle the wires. It's a thing, and that habit I have caught loose wires by doing that. Just grabbing the wire and just kind of trying to wiggle it. I've developed habits of holding wrenches a certain way so that I keep the end of the wrench away from my work. I kind of use it like a screwdriver instead of a wrench. And I'm always focused on keeping the handle of that sucker up and away from what I'm doing. Just habits like that. Little stuff. I'm thinking about metal, thinking about my watch, thinking about my ring. Whenever I go to working on something, I'm thinking about it. Is this a problem? Do I need to take this off? Do I need to worry about this? Is there anything on here that this ring can connect together? Is there a positive and a negative close enough where that ring can make contact? My brain is thinking on that all the time. Will that watch buckle? Is there something that's going to hit? I think about it. I'm approaching it, and I think about it. Is there something on me that's about to scrape my paint or somebody else's paint on their car? Do I have a belt buckle or a necklace? Do I need to put, this is my wallet. Do I need to put this inside my shirt? I'm always thinking about that kind of stuff. And these are the little habits that you develop into subconscious habits, and that will keep you from making big mistakes. Even whenever you make a small mistake, it'll limit how much mistake you make. So shit like that. And it's just over time, you just do those things. El Fuego said, I started installing in 89 and I made it to 99 before my 84 Accord, and it was never, yeah, we already know. Before my 84 Accord had El Fuego, and it was never the same. Yeah, baby. I haven't set a car on fire. I have blown the shit out of an amplifier. What destructive things have I done? I have punctured several speakers with a drill. Surrounds. I've ripped holes in surrounds with a drill. I've run the drill through my hand. I mean, literally through my hand out the other side. Lots and lots of sparks. I dropped a socket down on a hole bus bar set up, and with all these, and it just bounced around, sparking and like a piece of freaking popcorn or something, popping every time it would hit. It would pop, and it was just bouncing all over the place. Uh, that gave me a whole lot of time to feel like an idiot many, many times over and over again. Not just one idiot move, but like spark, 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 boom, boom, boom. I'm sitting there trying to pick it up, and it's just sparky, 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 spark. Um, so I had plenty of time to focus on the fact that I was a complete dumbass on that one. I never did find that socket, and I do believe it was a 10 millimeter. I do believe it was. It may have been a little bigger than that. I can't remember. I never found the damn thing, though. When I finally got it to stop hitting shit, it fell down in there somewhere, and I never could find it again. So, yeah, we've all been there. Stupid shit. I thought I could save a lot of money by building my own lithium battery. Once you add the cost of case, compression plates, oh, you're doing, yeah, balancers, terminals, lugs, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you have zero warranty, zero recourse if anything's wrong. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. Shit gets expensive. But, yeah. Mike McCabe said, yes, sir. Exactly. I check for connections like that. I do the same when I'm dealing with power wires. I stare at them as I turn the wrench, make sure I don't arc. Dude, it's like I said, it's habits. You just got to build. You got to build good habits. And if you don't do them yourself, that screwing up will build those habits. Right? Once you weld that ring to a terminal or something, you'll think about it next time. You know what I'm saying? Be aware of everything, because one little thing is going to be peaceful until it's explosive. And when it comes to capacitors, it's way worse. Where a battery will, shoot a couple hundred amps into something and weld it and maybe blow it off. A capacitor, if you drop a tool on a capacitor, a good charged up capacitor bank, the damn tool will literally turn into a liquid and vaporize. Like the whole wrench can just disappear. The amount of power that's conducted across those things is just insane. I have seen a wrench vanish, and there was nothing to be found of it. It liquefied it instantly, and the liquid blows apart and scatters everywhere. It'll hit you on your arms. It's gone. And there's nothing left but little tiny drops of molten metal stuck in the walls. Dude, capacitors are like batteries, but way more intense. No, he's not. And you can see it exactly. That's why I said he's not making a huge profit. Mike said, that's funny. Well, oh yeah, talking about the car. Yeah, El Fuego, man. Where do you think that name come from? All my sockets, all lost sockets are 10 millimeters, aren't they? Pretty much, yeah. When you buy a socket set, you always go and you buy like an extra 5 or 10 millimeters, and then you put them in 10 different places, because if you put them all in one place, you'll never see any of them again. You gotta stash them around the house in different locations. Number one lost socket is always the pesky 10. You know, the reason is every damn nut is a 10 millimeter. It's like, it's either a half inch, 9/16, 9/16, half inch, or 10 millimeter. Those are just, everybody uses them. Amen to that. That's why I like Harbor Freight sells 5-packs. Yeah. Oh, man. Brandon said, I can't find anyone of my 10 millimeters. Yeah, I had like 6. Mike said, same, if you ever want to reach it, Ever want to reach to save it, turn and run with tilling capacitors? That's real, my friend. Capacitors are something else, dude. The amount of power they can, they're phenomenal for what they do, but you just, the level of care you got to take is stepped up by like 100 from a battery to a capacitor. Same exact problems, but the result of fucking up with a capacitor is many times worse than it would be with the battery. Red Pill says, I thought I could build my own after looking at the different chemistries and the extras. So, yeah, Jackson good until I looked at the cost of bouncers. Yeah, it just keeps going, dude. 100%. 5K V2 is not that small, by the way. Oh, it's a little bit bigger. Oh, my bad. Yeah, it's not. It's a little battery. It's not as big as like a Group 31 or anything. Still, it's a wicked badass battery. Jason said, I got to go. And I appreciate you guys. Y'all have been a blast. Has anybody got any questions for me before we pull out? I'll try to answer them. I always leave off with that. You guys always wait till after I'm gone, and then you're like, oh, I wanted to ask about it. And I'm like, come on, man. I told you, just right now, here's the time. This is the chance. Get it out there. Put it on the table. Let's look at it. Let's talk about it. Let's check it out. I know Bobby sent me this damn software. I'll look at that later. I ain't finna play with that shit right now. Y'all ain't gonna be watching me get BDs. All right, man. Y'all been wonderful. It's been a really good night. Y'all be sure to be good to each other. Love your neighbor. Go out and shake someone's hand that you never met before. Meet somebody new. Treat people right. The world needs more of that. And y'all have a good night. Let's get the duck out of here.
Subwoofers are getting loud, you can feel the booming sound. Getting ready to go, got it shined up for the show. Power's charging, amps are amping, gonna let the woofers blow. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. We got more at home, another one bites the dust. Eyes are glowing and the amp is smoking, subs are cherry red. Let me keep jamming, gotta keep the bass slamming, gonna go hard till they're dead. Full power, gotta let it go, 20 hertz in the floating air. Sparks are flying, voice cords are frying, and the smoke is in the air. I haven't checked it out yet,
but I'm working on trying to get one.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. Hey, we got more at home. Another one bites the dust.